here. Look. Do you know what is his name? His name is Miguel. And what is the movie that he's from? Coco, right? This boy name is Miguel. Yes, he lives with his grandmother. And her name is Coco. So one day, Mama Coco told Miguel that he has to look for, do you know what is that called? Here it's called the record. He has to find the record and play it with, do you know what is that called? That one. The record player. The record player. So, but the problem, there's one problem, okay? One problem. The record player was kept in the tower. And what is that animal? The dragon. Protect that record player. And Miguel have to find the record player and play it with the and play the record with the record player, or else the music will be gone forever. So Miguel is walking, and he saw that. What is that? A castle. And what is that? The tower. So Miguel walked closer and closer to the tower, but suddenly he fell and he tripped. His leg is hurt. He cannot walk anymore. So we need one person to help Miguel find the record player. Who wants to help him? Him, please. Come on up. So here, guys. Here in the tower, there are fireballs from the dragon. So Phim doesn't know where to go. So if you guys want him to move to the right hand side, you have to say Joe. Joe. And if you want Phim to move to the left hand side, you have to say Ray. Say Ray. Okay, left hand Joe. And right right hand say Joe. Left hand say Ray. Okay, Phim. Now in the first round, there are 3 missions for him to success and get the record player. Here, the first one. Okay, everybody look for the fireball. Where? Oh no! He was dead! He was hit by the fireball! Oh no! Yes, nobody's talking. You have to tell him go or Ray so he knows where to move, okay? We'll start one more time. Success or fail? to learn?
Music.
So what is this called again? We are going to learn about history of music. Turn your book to page number 79, please. 79. Okay. First thing first, we are going to learn some vocabulary. Okay, I'd like you guys to listen and repeat. Listen and repeat.
Record.
Now find the word and underline, highlight, or circle the word. A record. I like to hear from Kate. Can you say the word, please? Kate, there. Yes.
Record.
One more time.
Record.
Very good. And how about Ko Fang sitting next to her? Can you say the word?
Record.
Record. Very good.
Record.
Yes, that's the word. Here, record means something like this. What is she doing? She is singing, right? So where is it? In the studio or in the school? Studio. So when you go in the studio, you can record the music so people can hear it. This picture, they are recording the music. Or have you got this application on your mobile phone? When you want to talk and record voice, that's called the recorder. Okay? Here. Next. The next word is. Can you pronounce the word for me, please? Okay, let's listen and see whether to see how it will be pronounced.
Orchestra.
One more time.
Orchestra.
K or ch? K.
Orchestra.
Orchestra. Here. Orchestra is the big band with several kinds of music instruments. And they mostly play what kind of music? Classical or techno? Classical. So here I have some questions. Is this the orchestra? Yes or no? No. How about this picture? Is this orchestra? No. And how about this one? What word should we add? What word should we add? No. How about this picture? Is this orchestra? No. And how about this one? What word should we add? What word should we add? This is the orchestra. Very good. This one is the last word.
Century.
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 Century. Let's see here. Century means a period of how many years? 100 years. 100 years. So, if some people say 19th century, what is the year that is the beginning of 19th century? Here. It starts from 80 to 1899. Understand? Now, if we say 20th century, what is the year that is the beginning of this century? 1999. Very good, big hands. So, how many words? First, we need to learn some structure. And it is about will. Have we learned about this? Yes or no? Some said yes, some said no. So, let me remind you guys a little bit about will. So, we will use will to talk about things in the present or in the future? Future. So, how can we know what's the difference between we going to will and present continuous for future. We will use will to talk about things that we think it is possible to happen in the future, or predictions. Here, let's take a look at the example first. Here, look at this guy. What is from the picture? What is the sentence using will that you guys can make about this picture? Gia. Okay, from the picture, will, using will. He will writing. Is that correct or incorrect? Can will need to followed by verb? What kind of verb? Infinitive. So you can adjust it a little bit, but you did very good. So he will write. Can you read it for me, please?
He will pass the exam.
The exam. So pass here is what kind of verb? Verb infinitive. Can we add s, es, ed, or ing? No, you cannot.
I will play football.
You will play football. Correct. Very good. Big hand. If I want negative, okay. Here, everybody turn your book to page number 79. Now first, we'll take a look at the passage. Okay? In this round, we'll play the audio. You have to use your finger, your pen, anything to drag along the sentence, alright?
The history of music. Until the end of the 18th century, people made their own music or listened to live music. Rich people sometimes had their own orchestras. In the 19th century, people began to record music, and for nearly 100 years, they listened to it on the record player. In the early 20th century, people started listening to music on radio stations. In the late 20th century, CDs became more popular than cassettes or vinyl records. In the early 21st century, people started to download music from the internet. Today, people can have thousands of songs on their playlists. But how will we listen to music in the future? Here are some predictions.
Okay. Now, I'd like you guys to repeat after the audio, alright?
Until the end of the 18th century,
Until the end of the 18th century,
people made their own music.
people made their own music
Or listened to live music.
or listened to live music.
Rich people sometimes had their own orchestras.
Rich people sometimes had their own orchestras.
Okay, very good.
In the 19th century,
In the 19th century,
people began to record music, and for than cassettes or vinyl records.
Rule at the end of what century? 18th century. People look how the dress. Is it old or new, the dress? Old. Or in another word, ancient. Here, people start to make music and listen to live music. Live means when someone, for example, when Beauty play guitar and listen to her playing. That's what we call live music. The musician play and the listener listen. Okay? And rich people have their own What kind of band? Orchestra. Rich people, meaning they have a lot of money or very, very little money. A lot of money. More than million, billion, something like that. And after that, after many years has passed, and now we enter the 19th century. What number is it? 19. Number 1 and 9. 19th century, people start to record their voice, the sound. Look at the machine here. They will speak through this one, like this, the machine like this, and they began to record the music. And here, next, after they recorded, now in the early 20th century, people start to listen to music through what is it? Radio station. Here, who is that? Yes, the DJ. He will talk, and then he will talk and open the music. And here, after the DJ turn on the music, people will listen to the music through this machine. First, it was this, and then they become like this, or like this on the car. That, all of these, how do we call that? Radio player or record player? Radio player, very good. How can people listen to music in the future from that? We didn't find the answer. Dan Riley, what did he say? What does Dan say? How can people listen to music? Okay. Now let me ask film over there. Dan, what does Dan say? How can people listen to music?
When people move or touch them.
Touch them. What is it?
Close.
Close. Very good. And let me ask Fasai. When did people start to download music? Download. What is the century that people start to download the music?
21st century.
Can you point where is the information is? Can you read it out loud, please?
21st century.
Okay, very good. Now, let me tell you guys a little bit about this. If sometime we don't know what we are going to talk about, we will use this one. Can you read it for me, please? Communicative strategy. Here, if you want to say something, but you have no words, you don't know what to say, you got confused, right? You will use this communicative strategy, and it is called circumlocution. Here, let's take a look. Here, we will describe how does it look like. For example, at that picture, you don't know what is it. We will describe how does it look like. And more. How does it look like? Is it circle or square? Starting from shape.
Square.
It is square. And aim. It is square, and what can you see? What is on the thing that we don't know? It has two circles on it. And listen, why are you laughing? We use it to listen to music. Yes. Here, if we don't know what is the word, we can describe how it looks like or how to use it. Understand? Okay, and keep it in mind because we will use it at the last activity after we have learned a lot of things.